Religious apologists and fundamentalists often accuse science of being just another system of belief, and they tend to equate belief with faith. Therefore, they postulate science is a matter of faith, and as such is just another religion. This form of logic is often used as propaganda to discredit a particular scientific theory, such as evolution. But it seems a bit like the pot calling the kettle black for religious advocates to attempt to smear science by calling it religion, and certainly seems to belittle religion every bit as much as the science they're trying to besmirch. But considering that different religions generally consider only their religion to be right, and all others to be wrong and deserving of eternal damnation, using the phrase, just another religion, is understandably pejorative. So, is science a religion? No. And I don't intend to waste your time explaining the obvious, but it is legitimate to ask, is science a belief system? I suppose it depends on your definition of belief. I choose to refer to the scientific method of naturalistic materialism as acceptance of evidence. If those who think that an evidence-based cognitive realization, which does not by necessity lead to further inquiry, choose to label this acceptance of evidence as belief, so be it. But the core difference between science and religion isn't belief. It's faith. One can believe in something that has or does not have evidence to support it. However, one is required to have faith only in the absence of evidence. Since science depends on evidence, and religion depends on faith, or belief despite the absence of evidence, the two, in my mind, are diametrically opposed. Both science and religion can possibly be categorized as belief systems, but their essential approach to the explanation of the universe is incompatible. Faith is essential to religion, but faith has no place in science. Aaron Davidson, in Science as a Belief System, says no matter how objective science appears to be, there are generally two assumptions which must be taken entirely on faith. 1. There exists an external objective reality. 2. There exists some sort of uniformity through time, in that the universe has structure and that predictions and generalizations are possible. I disagree, at least semantically, with Davidson when he refers to acceptance of these basic scientific assumptions as an act of faith. I would call these statements accepted truths, observed truths, or at the very least, inferred truths, as they constitute the basic premise of all hypotheses, theories, and laws in science. We assume the truth of these statements not through faith, but because observation and evidence invariably supports them as true, and they provide the starting point from which other knowledge may be sought. If we were to assume there was no objective external reality, the independent peer review process would become meaningless. Every individual researcher could potentially achieve different results from the same experiments. If we were to assume no structure in the universe, mathematics and physics would become meaningless. If we were to assume that predictions and generalizations were not possible, the entire scientific method would become meaningless. The point is, the scientific method is based on testable, repeatable, observable, empirical evidence, whereas religion is based on fear, ignorance, superstition, and wish thinking. But if you claim that your faith is evidence of anything more than a mental condition, and that it deserves the same status as the scientific method,
error.